Hi guys, welcome to another Barb Stamps video. Today's video is part of the Color Fusers blog hop that you can check out on my blog. Link is in the description box. And we're using 5 colors today in our color challenge. We're using Poppy Parade, Basic Black, Petal Pink, Whisper White, and Early Espresso. And so our cards have to have all these colors on them. And this is the one that I came up with. I think it's kind of cool. And I chose to use the sale-a-bration set called By the Bay. This is a stamp set that's free with a $50 purchase now through the end of March 2019. And I really think it's an amazing set. It looks like it might need to be colored in a lot, but I found that you can just kind of pick and choose what you color, and I think it still looks great. So we're going to be using this along with these colors. So let me get my supplies and we will get started. And by the way, give it a thumbs up if you enjoy it. All right, here's the supplies we need to create this card. I have a piece of Whisper White that measures 2.5 by 3.5. The Petal Pink is 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. The inside layer is 4 by 5 1/4. And then my piece of Poppy Parade is 1 3/4 by, it's 5.5, but we're going to cut that down. And then our card base is the Early Espresso 4.5 by 11. I'm going to bring in my Stampin' Trimmer here so that I can score this so it's easier to fold. So I'm scoring it at 5.5 inches. Then I'm going to fold this in half. Bring in my bone folder here for a nice crisp fold. All right. This piece I'm going to run to my Big Shot, and I'm going to be using our corrugated 3D Dynamic Textured Impressions embossing folder. So I'm going to place my strip of cardstock in here so that it's nice and even. I'm going to lay it on my Big Shot platform. I'm going to cover it with my cutting pad. I'm going to run it through my Big Shot hinge first, and I'll be right back. All right, and then we open up the folder and we remove that piece. So we have that nice textured corrugated look on there, and we're going to add that right to the edge of the cardstock here. So I'm going to go ahead and just do that right now. First, I am going to trim it down just a hair so that when I add my glue, I don't get way too much. Okay, and then I'm also going to put some glue right here on the edge of the cardstock. Get that right to the edge. All right, so let's get this to the edge. And if you want, you can kind of press it down to smash down some of the corrugated look. I don't want to smash down too much of it because I do think it's pretty cool. Again, making sure it's lined up at the edge right there. Open up the card and just kind of press that into place. You can see I've got some excess there, which is not a problem. I'm just going to trim that off with my snips. All right, and then we'll get this side. There we go. Next, I'm going to bring in some of our Poppy Parade textured weave ribbon. This is a carryover from our holiday catalog, and I'm going to bring this to the inside of the card, and then I'm going to bring it over the front so that it's right in the middle of the seam there. I'm going to pull that tight and get a tiny piece of Scotch tape and just get that down. This is going to get you a nice tight ribbon, and no one's going to see your tape underneath our main focal point. Okay, so we've got that done. Moving along, we've got our main piece here. I'm going to bring in my large kind of beachfront image here and use my Memento Tuxedo Black to ink that up. Since I am going to be using some Stampin' Blends, this is the ink that's for Stampin' Blends. Get that kind of lined up on that. Press it into place. All right, release that. We have that fun beachy image there. I've also got the sentiment from the set that says, "Thinking of You." And we're going to stamp that right up here in the corner, about like so. All right, I think we're done with the ink now, so I'll close that up so I don't make a mess. Oh, we're not done. I've got to do the inside piece. So the inside piece, here it is. I'm going to use this little seashell image, and I was working with it earlier, and I actually stamped it upside down. So I am going to use the label that comes in the set here so that I don't stamp that upside down again, because it just looks kind of funny if it's upside down. So I've peeled back the backings, exposing the sticker, and then the stamp is the same size. Just going to add that stamp to my label, and there we have it. So now I won't do it upside down. Bring in one of my clear blocks, and we're just going to set that right on top. And then I'm going to ink this up. I do need a piece of scrap paper though, because I am going to kind of do this off the page just a hair, make sure we're in frame. So I'm going to do off the bottom here, kind of off to the side, and then a little bit just to fill in that spot right there. Okay, now we're done with the ink. Okay, so now I'm going to bring this piece back in and I'm going to do some coloring. So I am going to use my Poppy Parade Stampin' Write marker for the fine detail along the roof edge there and around the windows. And then I've got my Petal Pink Stampin' Blends combo and my Poppy Parade Stampin' Blends combo. And I'm just going to do some coloring on this. So I'll go ahead and zoom in. All right, we're back. And I'm going to go ahead and speed the video up at this point so that it doesn't take so long for me to do this coloring. I'm going to start with my light Petal Pink marker, and I'm going to kind of do this retaining wall area here. All right, I'm also going to do the buildings, not the roofs, but just the buildings. Okay, I'm going to bring in my dark Petal Pink now to add some accents to the retaining wall and the houses. I'm going to bring in my Stampin' Write marker, and I'm going to use my fine point end here, and I'm going to go around the edges of the roofs of these buildings. And outline the windows. And the door. And there's a small fence here. Okay. I'm also going to do these smaller roofs of these smaller buildings because the tip of this marker is so fine. All right, and then I'm going to bring in my light Poppy Parade for the large roof on this big house. Okay, and then we're going to bring in the dark and add a little bit of detail. Okay. Zoom back out, and there we have our piece colored. So now I can go ahead and add it to my layer of Poppy Parade, or no, excuse me, the Petal Pink. And I think I might have cut this a little bit too big, so I am going to take it over to my trimmer and cut off a little bit. See, I have a little bit too much on both of these edges. Okay, bring that main card back in, and we're going to add some Stampin' Dimensionals to this layer. Kind of putting these two close together so they can go right in between the ribbons there. About like that. Okay, and then I thought I would bring in, whoops, I already took these off to see if I liked how they were placed, and they're flying all over. These are some of our Share What You Love Artisan Pearls, and they do have some of the Petal Pink in this set, which I really like because it coordinates perfectly with my color scheme here. So I thought I would just add a few right like that. Using my take your pick tool, because I do have a little bit, a nice little putty end there. And then this also small pointed tip that I can use to kind of push these little things around. Okay, put those up there. And we're going to go ahead and quickly color the seashells here. So I'm going to color them with the light petal pink marker. Just really kind of quickly, nothing fancy about it. Bring in the dark, maybe add a little accents to some of these shells in some spots, maybe on the water, just so that there's some color on the inside of the card also. And then we'll just go ahead and add this to the inside. Okay, and there we have it. So I hope you enjoyed this awesome color combination today. You can check more of the projects on my blog. The link will be in the description box. And give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I always appreciate that. Subscribe to my channel right down there. Please place your orders at shoppingwithbarb.com. I do offer free gifts with purchase. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day.